So in case you didn't get it from that stinger, today we're going to be talking about metal singers for Synthesizer V. There was a particular comment on video number 2 that I released last weekend from Andrea, who asked what the best voice for metal was. Now, well, you can read the conversation there. We basically went back and forth a little bit, and when I suggested 9-0, Andrea said that 9-0 is too rough. I was looking for something smoother. So I want to kind of address that today and see if we can kind of get somewhere with it. I'll admit that I'm not much of an expert on heavy metal music. I never listened to it, and I did go and listen to a few kind of tracks on a kind of public playlist after I saw that comment, and I was still of the conclusion that 9-0 is the best fit. And but something else that kind of occurred to me was that the voices are kind of all over the place in terms of smoothness. Some of them are very smooth, and some of them are very rough, much like you would associate with 9-0. So, well, let's play around with this and see if we can come up with a few alternatives, especially since I'm not entirely sure what Andrea is looking for. I'm going to just offer up a couple of solutions and see if maybe he can decide whether anything fits there, okay? So let's go into Cubase for this one, and I'm just going to play, well, let's just play a bit of the track as you just heard it. And I'm just going to open up Synthesizer V, and we got 9-0 on the lead there. And I'm just going to say, like, the settings, in terms of settings, I got his overdrive up, and muted and solid down at 0. So to start with, this is what he sounds like.
Corrections, deletions, we got the fixings for the midweek update.
So no question, strained, rough, you know. So let's see if we can do something about that. Well, first of all, I'm going to take off a couple of plugins that I was using on that to deliberately rough it up. And that's, there's a couple of kind of saturation plugins, Little Radiator and Tube Culture were on there to do that. So that's going to help a little bit. And the other thing I'm going to do immediately is turn the overdrive vocal mode right down and turn the muted mode right the way up to 150%. Now the other thing is I want to make sure my gender slider is over to the right, which is going to make him sound a little deeper and a little bit more mature. So that might help to kind of clean it up a little bit. And also let's just take down this a little bit and make sure all the other things are not too extreme. So let's just see what we got this time round.
Corrections, deletions, we got the fixings for the midweek update.
And I think in terms of long notes, you could definitely kind of add some vibrato in there. Problem is, it's not quite where we want it. Okay, and here. You know what, I'm going to leave this at 1. Oops, didn't mean to do that. 1. And leave that at 1. And actually do it by drawing it in here. So we're going to go to the vibrato envelope. And, oops, sorry. We're just going to go like this. And actually, I just want that towards the end of the note. So I'm just going to move this. Move the way over to there. like that. That gives us vibrato on the end of the note. And we're going to do the same thing up here. So we want some kind of fairly extreme, let's give him a little bit more. Something fairly extreme, but only towards the end of the long notes there. So let's just try that again.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
His vibrato is kind of a little bit fast for this, I think. So I might go in and actually customize the notes and do all that. But I want to do a couple of other things. I want to try a couple of other voices and stuff. So we're going to leave that for the time being. So in any event, that's you can hopefully hear that 9-0 has a bit of a softer side than what you would normally associate with him.
Corrections, deletion.
And let's just play that with the track.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
So that may be. Now the other thing that struck me with metal was that the voices are somewhat dramatic. And so if we think about what other voices might be dramatic, Asterion comes to mind. So let's just switch to Asterion here a moment. And Asterion has a really pronounced vibrato, so we're going to take his vibrato down a little bit. And I think, oops. Do this and do this, and we should be back to normal, and we're just going to take it down even more, like that. Okay, so there's a couple of things we need to do to make this work for Asterion. Number one, Asterion has a super deep voice.
Correction.
So it's going to sound super deep, okay? So what we can do is move his gender slider over to the left, which makes him sound more feminine, as it were, and
corrections.
Okay, so we changed his voice character quite significantly with that gender slider there.
Corrections.
And let's give him some warmth and some passion, maybe, I don't know. Let's try that.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
We might change the EQ curve a little bit. Let's see what he sounds like with them all. We need to.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
So he sounds quite muted there, actually. So let's just take this up. Lose this bottom end, get his top end. We'll add something in there. See if this helps.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
Okay, so that might work for you. The other one I was thinking of was Kevin. Kevin's voice is kind of suited to this, kind of theatrical. Now, Kevin's a much younger voice than Asterion, and I would push his gender slider over to the right to make him kind of more mature. So we'll do that. And we'll come up to here and we'll just say, let's just say solid, 100%. And see if that helps. And let's just hear his voice.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
So you got that saturation plug-in there, which is kind of making it a little bit extreme, but I think kind of gives the right idea, actually.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
Okay, so there's another idea. And the last one I thought of was Richie. Just before we touch on Richie, let's talk about who's left, and that's Saros and Hayden. And I'll just be honest that I just don't think their voices are suited to it whatsoever. Saros does have kind of quite a strong belt when he wants to, so there's a possibility there for him, but I think his diction just doesn't suit the vocal type. Richie may do. I think Richie with kind of similar settings to Kevin there would just, except he doesn't have the same kind of vocal mode. So we're just going to take his high tone and mid tone up a little bit and leave the gender slider over on the male side to make him more mature. Richie's kind of deeper than Kevin anyway, so we might take it back just a touch there. And let's see if that works.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
So this is what it sounds like in the mix.
Corrections, deletions. We got the fixings for the midweek update.
So there you go. What do you think? Whose voice do you think's the best? I have an idea of who I think's the best. Leave in the comments below who you think's the best. And there's one other thing I just wanted to mention. Just remind you that February is RPM Challenge month. I'm taking part. If you're a music producer of any kind, I highly recommend you check it out. I'll leave the link to their website in the description below. In any event, I will be doing an EP within the month of February, and I will be journaling my songwriting sessions for that, and I hope to have something put together as a show just to kind of show you the documentation of my workflow in writing a whole EP of songs in the month of February. Okay, thanks and have a great day.